Hey, what's up guys? I'm excited to share with you this new painted style character that I've made, both designed and created by myself, and I'll share with you the process in this video. But before we get started, let's talk about some important concepts for this style. Now, number one is keep it simple. Look guys, I'm a single person making this, not an entire awesome studio with multiple people working on different parts. And after all, there's a lot of different parts that go into this, such as ideation, modeling, texturing, shading, and lighting. Now the reason I'm saying to keep it simple is because if you try to do everything at once, you're just going to throw up. So in my case with this character, keeping it simple meant focusing on just laying in the base colors and doing all the texturing first before I tried to add any complex lighting or stuff like that. Now this all leads me into my next point. Recreating something that already exists is nowhere near as difficult as making your own new thing. One thing newer artists sometimes don't realize is with your own character, there's a million different things you have to figure out. The attire design, where to place your values and colors on the face and body, the look of your character. There's just so many more variables going on that you have to manage, whereas when you're recreating something that already exists, everything's already been decided and looks good and all you have to do is copy it. So just keep that in mind if you're making your own character. Now with that, let's talk about some of the most important parts of the style. One of these parts is the way you structure your facial values. So this is basically how you place your values around the face and is very important. Making characters like this is all about separating out the forms properly. Besides that, another important part is clothing and attire. For making clothing and attire, there's multiple things you have to focus on. 1. Keep in mind you do have to model the folds on your character, of course. You also have to draw in more smaller folds as well as scratches to up the quality to the next level. You should also shift the hue or saturation in certain parts, which is going to give it more variety and interesting looks. Alright, so with those few important concepts to keep in mind said, let's now start making the character. Also guys, I recently released a video talking about some of my important lessons from my experience with Blender, so check it out in the description. I'm going to be starting from a base mesh that I already created previously to save time. Just like usual, I made a sphere for the eye and put it into place like this. I wanted to make sure the shape of the face looked okay, so I defined the jaw a little bit more. That's just a bit important for this style as compared to anime and other styles like that, but I'll do more of this later. Next, I assigned a base color to our character, just a bright peach color for the skin, and even though it's often not included in this style, I still added an outline because it just helps me see the contour a bit better. From there, it's just the usual process, drawing in the cornea just like this, selecting edges above the eye and turning it into an eyelash, and for this style in particular, I like to model the eyebrow instead of just drawing it in like I usually do, so it can be more quote-unquote 3D. Now, let's get to doing some face coloring. So obviously I painted in red for the face and red around the cheeks area as well, just to get some coloration going. And I also made sure the fat under the eye was pretty dark and separated out, as well as the bottom of the nose. A big part of this style is really separating out the different parts of the face properly, so that's what I was trying to do here. You can see I fingertipped some of this dark area to make it encapsulate the eye area a bit better, and kind of give that like iconic look around this part of the face. I also indicated the cheekbone by darkening this area on the side of the face a bit more. And from there, I just made all sorts of slight changes to the face, mainly darkening things so that the values would be overall harmonious. So I painted above the nose, gave the eye a shadow, made a shadow under the jaw so it would be defined a bit better, drew streaks on the eyebrows, and colored in the eye to be yellow. Now, to better sell this painted style effect, I recommend using a node setup like this here to get some shading on the edges of your model. It'll just make it a bit crispier. Okay, wait, let me explain how to actually do that. Basically, whatever object you have, if you use a layer weight node, you can use a node setup like this to easily adjust the edges of your model. By the way, I also have an intro to Blender tutorial on my channel, so check that out if you're new. Alright, so from then on, I just added some highlights and other minor details to the face. This just helped sell the look that I was going for. But the issue right now is, she's completely bald. So using curves, I decided it was time to place some hair on her. This was very simple and nothing special, I just used some regular curves to place hair parts around. Admittedly, I could have given them more variety, but I just wanted to simplify as much as possible here, and focus on that painted style look as much as possible. Okay guys, before we go any further, I just want to talk a little bit about my masterclass. If you're someone who's been trying to learn Blender but doesn't have a clear path, this is a program that will teach you my entire workflow for making things like anime-style characters, beautiful scenes, and just amazing stylized art in general. It's one of the only comprehensive curriculums on this that exists, and is suitable both for beginners as well as people who are more experienced and want to level up their stylized art skills, or just become a better 3D artist in general. We focus both on technical skills as well as observational skills, meaning technical skills as in how to use Blender efficiently, as well as the observational skills of design and stuff like that, because without that, your art is going to look flat no matter how well you can use Blender. So if you're interested in joining me and hundreds of other students, you can check it out on ukiyogirls.io. Okay, back to the video. As for color, I didn't know exactly what to use, but just decided to set them all to blue. And after that, I unwrapped them so that I could texture paint on them. I was being very loose here because I wanted to make sure I was just focused on texture painting and not thinking much about shaders or anything like that. The point at this stage is to keep things as simple as possible. So I did exactly that. I just painted. I didn't overthink about anything like, oh, look, when the camera rotates and I need this shader or that. And I just kind of like texture painted streaks on her hair, not really thinking about anything else. Now, with that being said, there's some important tips though, definitely. Like for example, you could add coloration to the ends of your tips to make them a bit more appealing. So that's something I experimented with quite a bit. Also, you may notice there's a bit of transparency on the hair curves, so that's another thing you could do, although later I'm going to show you me drawing them in only at the ends/tips of the hair, which is what I recommend. Not only that, but you also want to draw in dark streaks for your hair, not just bright streaks, or at least like this is just what I was doing here. Whether or not you want to follow me on it is totally up to you. Okay, so now let's get on to the clothing. Nothing groundbreaking, I literally just modeled over her body relatively quickly and not thinking that much, and I had her wearing a tank top and then some type of shirt that goes around her arms over it. And speaking of arms, it's important to really get those folds going, as without them, you'll make something that looks super flat, so make sure, you know, the contour around the arms is nice with a lot of folds and stuff like that. So you can see here I focused a lot on that by beveling and using Alt-S to puff out certain parts, and I was just moving out the loops on her shirt a lot. Not just on the sleeves, but also on the top of her chest, because there's usually some folds created in that area as well. Anyways, so after unwrapping the sleeves, which was a bit annoying, I added a light to my scene, as you can see up here in the properties panel, and to easily get some of that ambient detail for our clothing folds, I baked the lighting using the Stylized Asset Suite add-on, and after that, used the Create Light Mask feature to turn the shadows into a mask that can be easily adjusted as a texture. So basically that texture just becomes a mask for where the light would be occluded, and I can just dynamically adjust it. All this basically does is it just gives us perpetual detail in that area even when the sun isn't touching it or anything. Now, after that I wanted to add some lighting to our character's hair. So on the hair I added a shading setup and then just multiplied the texture we painted on her hair previously by that, so we now have shading on our character's hair because it reacts to the sunlight. From there I just cleaned up the shirt we made for her a little bit more, but it's nowhere near done. We now need to draw in some folds manually to make the texture a lot better, so I did this using a hue saturation value effect, both a dark and bright one. To explain it simply, I'm just drawing darks and brights, that's all it is. Drawing darkness and brightness on my model to create the illusion of folds. So sit back and relax and just watch the process of this for a bit. Now after that, I decided to switch the shirt to be orange because white just felt boring, although I liked both a lot honestly. I decided to add a curvature effect to add some brightness on the edges of our model, which looked pretty cool overall. However, it's something I'll have to reel back later because it's a little bit too intense, as you can see here. But that wasn't enough for me. I still had to keep drawing in folds manually, so I kept on with that. Adding scratches was also pretty important, so this was a really repetitive process, and the main challenge here is really just not overdoing it. Naturally, your eyes will get tired while doing this, so you'll have to take a second, fresh look at it to make sure you didn't screw anything up. Staying on the chest, I indicated some darkness for her clavicle and sternocleidomastoid muscle as well. And I now decided to add a colored edges effect to the shirt, and also a texture overlay effect to help make the shirt feel nicer overall. Keep in mind, you could do this stuff with nodes or with the Stylized Asset Suite add-on, but I like to use both personally, which is also what I teach in my masterclass. And now examining our torso, it looks alright, but it wouldn't be complete without some pizzazz. So I decided to also draw some letters on her shirt, and I know this is like extremely uncreative, but I just had no idea what else to write here, so I just wrote hello, and I also added some stripes on her. You probably noticed this by now, but I love to draw in highlights on the edges of my darks to indicate more brightness. Anyways, from then on, I did some more miscellaneous things. I drew in darkness on her neck to indicate it a little bit better. I also added a necklace because I just love to add these to my characters, and yeah. Alright, so we've gotten up to this point with the character. But there's one issue, which is that I neglected the shape of my character's forms of the face, if that makes sense. Everything is just like way too smooth, and if I'm gonna be honest, if I had more time on this project, I would have made a custom sculpt for it. But I didn't, so what I did instead was I just sharpened up the nose area a bit to make it more harsh and rugged, and same with the lips, I sharpened and inflated the sides a bit. And after that, oh wait, damn, now the character looks super silly. Oh yeah, also, I didn't get this on camera, but I reduced the overall value of the face so it's darker now, which allowed the highlights and other areas like that to shine a bit more, which looks cooler. Okay, anyways, addressing these weird proportions, I'm just going to adjust them in sculpt mode now so they don't look messed up anymore. And that being said, this was one of the most important changes that I made, making the model feel more sharp. Okay, so one other thing with the hair that was important was having transparent tips. So at the end of all the hair strands, I made sure to draw in some transparency there so that it would actually have that feeling of lightness at the ends. And from there, it was just some other slight adjustments to the model. I played around a lot with the background and the color of our shirt as well, so I was pretty indecisive on that, but it's a fun thing to experiment with. Okay guys, so let's now talk about lighting. The thing is though, this part is a bit incomplete because I haven't fully finished the lighting setup, but hopefully you'll find what I have now to be interesting. But first, let me show you an oversimplified version of how this works. Pretty much, you just make a basic stylized shader setup with a diffuse BSDF, shader to RGB, and color ramp. I talk about this more in my beginner's Blender tutorial, so you can watch that. But pretty much, you just multiply your texture by it, and then what you can do after that, actually, is select everything, hit Ctrl G to put it into a group, rename that, and then on your other materials, which in our case would be all of the other objects on our character, you can paste in that group. And you can tint the highlight and shadow colors to whatever you want, just like this. So now I just applied that strategy to every object in our character. A setup like this gives you maximum control because you can adjust the colors of light and shadow, you can adjust the sharpness via the color ramp, and there's just so much versatility doing this. Do keep in mind though, with this style there's changes you may have to make based on the scene that you're doing, so it's not meant to be a one-size-fits-all complete type of solution. At this point, I just continue to play around with the lighting a bit. I really like playing these rectangle objects here to kind of indicate some cinematic lighting, as if the lighting was going through window blinds or something like that, so that was pretty fun. All that really remained after this was to make some final touches, so what I did was added a gradient to the bottom of the hair to make it red, and I also just darkened the background a little bit. And with that, here's our final result. Alright guys, so that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, check out my previous video about the tips that I've learned from all of my Blender experience over the years. And if you want to learn to make 3D art that stuns, check out my masterclass on Ukiyo at Aiyo. Have an awesome day.